Okay, good morning. Here we go. Awesome. Got everybody here. Welcome to Warriors Peace University. We're going to go ahead and get started by introducing ourselves. And so the way we're going to introduce ourselves is body, being, balance, and business. And I'll go first. So my name is Raylan Heck. Background a little bit, born in Wyoming, Army Ranger, in the military before. And now body, I work out. Very active. I do arm wrestling, jiu-jitsu, biking, started biking again, hiking or rucking, running, just try to stay physically active so that I can reach the goals that I want to or that God has placed me to stay healthy, do that. So as well, being, I definitely am a Christian. I love it, but the main thing for me is really not identifying with that so much. My identity is chasing after the character of Christ continually. It is like every part of my being that I want to do. What that means to me is chasing after what is in the Bible. So, but also praying and meditating is huge for me, helping me stay in balance. What else? Balance. I have an amazing wife that just has always been there for me, but then also calls me out of my crap. And I got two amazing kids that are flourishing in their purposes as well. One is 6th in the world for Olympic lifting, and the other one is singing, which is just amazing to hear, and doing jiu-jitsu as well. So that's awesome. Business, I am an investor in property and real estate, Airbnbs, but then also really my purpose, my passion is investing in the lives of men as we all continually try to wake up. So that's my body, being, balance, and business. James, you're up.
Good morning. I'm James Waisman. I'm been doing Warriors Peace for about 4 years now. One of the old guard. As far as my body, I do love to work out. Naturally, I don't like to get up at 5 in the morning to get here, but after a while, I come to love it. And I love the ice baths, love the Wim Hof breathing. Just love the whole thing about Warriors Peace. As far as my being, I am a Christian. I'm active in my church, but I also love that these guys spawned me on to, besides that, not just be a Sunday Christian, but to go ahead and do the daily Bible study and spend time with God and just to seek Him first. First thing in the morning, we seek God. So that's amazing. As far as my balance, I've been married to my lovely wife, Jennifer, for 28 years, and she's stuck with me through the highs and the lows, and I'm probably here to a lot of prayers from her. I've got two wonderful children. My daughter is just finishing up the end of fire school, and my son is actually has a test tomorrow to be a pilot in the military. So that's good as well. Very super proud of them. And business, I've been in the same industry for 20 years now, but I'm doing good there. But due to some of the volatility of that, I've got some other things on the side working out just to kind of diversify that and just make sure that that for the future we've got multiple streams of income.
Nice. Nathaniel?
My name is Nathaniel Alberts. I've been with Warriors Peace.
It's not on. There we go.
My name is Nathaniel Alberts. I've been with Warriors Peace since November. Body, I am always been very active, always been in the gym. I was a Coast Guard rescue swimmer. I'm coming off a traumatic shoulder injury, so I'm just now getting back into the game in the gym. Being, I am a Christian. I've been for quite a while now. For the past few years, I've been disconnected from God, unable to hear His voice. But as of recently, through Warriors Peace and getting back into my Bible, I'm hearing His voice again. I am redeveloping that relationship with God. Balance, I am a family man. I've got 4 children. My wife expects me to be the godly leader of our home. Business, I am the CFO of a private school. I've been doing that for 25 years.
Nice. Thanks, Nathaniel. Christian?
Good morning. My name is Christian Cooper. I'm a former Army Ranger. I've got a couple combat tours with the Ranger Battalion. And then I switched. I was a private military contractor. Think of like Secret Service in a wartime area. Total, I caught maybe a couple thousand days in an active combat zone. I left that, and then from that, I spent a lot of time kind of just recovering from that. And so that's kind of a big part of my purpose these days. I work with a couple nonprofits. Warriors Peace is great. We got, man, Surgeons Paramotor. We've got Shadow Warriors Foundation, the Heroic Hearts Project. After seeing a lot of my friends committed suicide after so much time in combat zones, that's a big part of my reason why and how I want to get better and how I want to help lift others up. So I currently invest in real estate. I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm currently living in the Dominican Republic for a couple months. And yeah, that's about it.
Right on. Love it, bro. Craig?
Everybody, good morning. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Christian, you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
All right. So my name's Craig Faulkner. Been coming to Warriors Peace since last September. You know, I was always a, well, let me start out with this, you know, so I came in here, you know, I've always enjoyed working out. I like stuff that pushes me a little bit. My diet wasn't the best. Coming in here, starting at 5 a.m., kind of changed my life being around these men. And so now I definitely still work out every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And nutritionally, I'm taking care of my body a lot better. Being wise, you know, I've been a Christian. I wasn't always an active Christian, but walking through these doors kind of reignited that fire. And now, you know, pretty much daily, I'm trying to grow my relationship, you know, not only with Christ, but with, you know, out in the world and trying to be that light, right? Balance-wise, I've been married for 25 years. You know, she supports me, you know, probably 100% in what I do most of the time. You know, definitely tells me when I'm not doing stuff right and tells me when I am doing stuff right, right? So it's been a pretty, you know, healthy relationship. It's definitely gotten a lot better since Warriors Peace than it was a few years before. I have two wonderful kids, a daughter and a son. One's in school, finishing up through her first term of, or I guess her last term of nursing before she goes on to whatever practitioner school that is. And then my son, he is a generator, certified generator for Caterpillar. And, you know, proud of them both. They're both learning about life and kind of transitioning out of the nest, maybe. So then I'll experience the empty nest. We'll see. Yeah. Business-wise, you know, primarily I'm a senior software engineer for Home Depot. Do like Home Depot. They're a great company. I also own two small businesses. I own a small dumpster rental company called Big Sky Dumpsters. And then we also own a small real estate investment company called Big Sky Legacy. And hopefully within the next 3.5, 4 years, I will leave Home Depot permanently and be on my own full time, be able to make a bigger impact.
Nice. Very good. Sean, you're up, man.
Sean Byers, Warriors Peace for 1.5 years now. I am a recent suicide turn. I had no light 1.5 years ago, and I started taking deep breaths and jumping in ice and working out every day. And those 3 simple things in my body gave my brain a little time to take a breath as well, my spirit, and I realized how far I was away from God. And my being has started chasing that and beginning to see through examples around me what's possible in Warriors Peace, checking in, and I see my calling now. I can see it on others. And so I see what's possible and I want to push to that. So that's my body and being. I am Balance. I still get a little haywire out there and want to chase more than I need to. But overall, after being in a group like this, I shirk off the childish things pretty easily. After a year and a half, I can say that it's become kind of habitual to check in and get rid of what I don't need and focus on what I do. So the balance is really starting to come together with, I mean, obviously we can all go for a minute explaining that, but I think that does it justice. And then business. In business, I am still kind of planting here. Just bought my first real estate property as an investment. Currently flipping that, going through the process of all of that, and hoping by this time next year I'm doing at least one a month. That's my goal. I lost a business in a divorce recently, and I had a few-year plan, and that's turned into, looks like maybe a couple more decades. So I'm bracing for that impact, and like Craig, eager to make an impact, but I don't want to do it without the Spirit of God. So my business is at the pace of the Creator as opposed to my pace, which is a massive difference and a welcome change. So
Beautiful. Beautiful share, man. Thank you, bro. Andy?
My name is Andy Rodriguez. I've been coming to Warriors Peace, chasing alignment since February of 2023. As far as my body, I've always been a bigger dude. If I go to the height of my weight, I used to be over 400 pounds. So working out has become not just a choice, more so a necessity to really attain the health that I want to chase after. My being born Catholic, say Christian now, it's revealed to me more and more that the relationship I need to chase the most is that relationship with Christ and knowing Him more. My balance, I am in a recent relationship, which I'm thankful for. I feel like encouraged through that to also speak what's on my heart. A couple instances where where something's been brought up to me and I was thinking about it and I chose not to speak on it. So I'm encouraged through that. And outside of that, I have my family is my two folks and my younger brother, who inspire me every day and to try to get more and attain more. My business, I've been born into the restaurant world. My parents come from the Dominican Republic, so came over, opened up a restaurant, and that's what I know at the back of my hand. So it's one thing I've never really gotten away from. But now breaking into the world of real estate investments through wholesaling, and the plan is to cultivate a career and a life that is not only one that I feel like I deserve, but also one that will help me expand and be able to give back as much as I've been able to take throughout these last couple of years.
Nice. Beautiful shares, man. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to hop into this whole deal. First part I wanted to obviously kind of say is with this Warriors Peace, almost like a declaration statement for us. We've been talking about be the man. So Warriors Peace University, be the man. This is kind of the declaration statement for it. So here we go. Be the man. It's kind of that idea of like where we are in our culture, where we are in any of these things. Like, what does it even mean to be the man? What's it mean? And what's it? Oh, look at those things. The thumbs up. So what does it mean to be the man? What's it mean to you? For us here, be the man. This means taking radical ownership of our faith journey, surrendering to the divine will of God, and embodying the teachings of Christ. It demands that we step into our true power as men, living with purpose, integrity, and a relentless pursuit of righteousness. by forging a deep connection with the Holy Trinity. We tap into an unwavering source of strength and wisdom, enabling us to navigate life's challenges and fulfill our divine calling. In this sacred bond, we become living examples of love, grace, and truth, impacting not just our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. We rise as true men, warriors for Christ, committed to living out our purpose in all areas of our life: body, being, balance, and business, thus leaving a lasting legacy for generations to come. It's kind of just the start, scratching the surface of what is going on here. But we've been digging in the past couple weeks as we stepped in with more intention, more purpose, more direction, digging into the deep. We've been going over what is the code. And so start asking the question, what is the code? So who's going to go first? What's the code?
Stop lying.
Stop lying. Nice. Stop lying. Which is so funny because then we would be like, what are you talking about? I'm not lying. Okay? Nice. Stop lying. Now, what is the framework for the code? It's a framework for the code. What you got, Craig?
It's real, raw, relevant results.
Right on. Cool. And will you give us the secondary part of that as well for the framework?
So we call it the 4 F's, right? Facts, feelings, focus, and fruit.
Cool. Can you pair those together for me?
What's that?
Can you pair those together in that?
Oh, yeah. So real, you live by facts. So real facts, okay? Raw is your feelings, okay? Relevant is the focus, right? Whatever you're focused on needs to be, your most relevant part. And then results equals the fruit. So facts, feelings, focus, fruit. Real, raw, relevant results.
Very awesome. So start with this then. Why is it important to be in radical relationship, exposing or walking in the code? Why is it important? Why is this group important?
So you can be the man.
I definitely want to be the man.
So it just, if you can live in that space or even working towards living in that space, it's a better version of yourself and what you're putting out there in the world. I really believe that, you will see the fruit of that. If you can, submit, become that person, that people may not understand it up front, but once it's all rolling and going, they'll be like, man, how did you get there? Hey, you know what? I followed a code. It had a framework. It brought me closer to God. God led my life in truth. I mean, it sounds simple when you say it like that. It's not as simple putting it in action, because you're fighting your own mind.
Yep.
Your mind that's been conditioned to the world for 48 years.
Yeah, it really has. Nathaniel, why is it important? Thanks, Craig. That was a good share, man. Why is it important to live in radical relationship, exposing the facts, the feelings, the focus, the fruit? Just any of it. Why is it important, for you in this group?
There is a level of accountability, a level of loyalty. Iron sharpens iron. We are men who are walking this path together, simultaneously, exposing the raw sides of ourselves that we're not used to exposing to other people. Learning to walk in truth.
It's good. I think it's beautiful. When we're talking about accountability and stuff like that, I think it's interesting. We go over a lot of times saying here for the accountability. But do I hold you accountable?
Not at all. I hold myself accountable.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Yep, watching that, watching you grow in this group, watching all these men grow in this group. The accountability and the level of loyalty within the group is, I think you nailed it. Like, you're holding yourself accountable and you're the one that's loyal to this. And when James is holding himself accountable, whether he's here in this group or he's doing it by himself or he's out in the world doing it, there's a level of that as well. And when everybody's holding themselves accountable, right? And everybody's loyal to this cause, truly walking out what they're saying. That's what's been amazing to watch. I think that was perfectly said, man. Very cool.
Do you mind if I?
Yeah, 100%. What you got?
So I just want. We know that there's power in numbers, right? But typically, why is it said that way? Yesterday, as I come across, I'm listening to the Bible. I come across Proverbs 15:22, and after diving in a little bit into it, there's more perspectives, right? Through perspectives is how we prepare for what could come, for obstacles. My perspective is always going to be limited because I'm only understanding things from the scope of the being whom I am. But through the perspective of each and every other individual here, we're able to not only stay focused, and we speak on being held accountable, but we're able to propel the growth and expansion that we so seek. And since I did mention Proverbs 15:22, it's without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed.
Yeah, that is beautiful, bro. Christian, why is it important? Yep, why is it important that we do this in radical relationship, exposing these things?
Yeah, I look at it as it just comes down to stop lying. Stop lying to ourselves, stop lying to others. And we break it into those core sectors of stop lying in my body. Am I really getting to the gym? Am I in a conversation with people telling them, oh, how much cardio I do and I really don't do anything? Am I really saying, hey, I eat and I'm giving advice or whatever, but I don't actually do it. I don't really do it. That's kind of where it's like I'm just lying to myself. I'm losing integrity, right? Not that anybody knows, but I know, right? When I can start bringing that into alignment, right? And just walking that walk instead of, so body being, right? Like, what am I doing to be in touch, with my spiritual side? Do I actively have a practice? Am I just fronting? Am I telling everybody how devout I am, but I really am not doing anything, And then balance, do I really have a good relationship with my family, or am I stuck in work, so it's just really stop lying, right? Be the person you say you're going to be, do the things you say you're going to do, and walk the walk.
Yeah. Yep. What else? Who else? What you got? What you got, Sean?
For me, it's a little bit more of like, part all of those things, but also respect. It's like a place where you can come in. Like I guess men want to get respect. They want to have like, hey, look at what I did. Look at what I've gained. Look at what I've accomplished. Especially from your wife. Like, look what I do. Look what I do for the family. And I get that, right? We all have had that part of our life show up. But what's beautiful here is that it's not about all that you've done or what you're going to do. It's about where you're at right now. It's about spilling your beans, being real, raw, relevant, chasing results. And when I see that in another man, I know what it takes to get to that point, to say the words, to bare your soul, so I can respect you immediately. And then I can hold that in my place, in my memory, and in my heart. Okay, that's where he's at. And then that's a place of our new relationship. That's where we begin again tomorrow. So it's a good place, good way for me to ground with everybody and be real and like I said in the beginning, get rid of the world, detach from that aspect of the matrix, and live real. But I can only do that if other people are watching and scrutinizing and helping me tool in and become more and more refined. I can't do that alone. It's way too much for my brain.
Yeah. 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 I think that's, I think it's really good. Even when we just take, obviously we're talking about the whole framework and there is feelings in there and there is the focus, but if we just take the facts of it, if we take the realness of it, the facts of it, and we take the results, the fruit, and we take our feelings out of it. And what's amazing is walking in relationship with others. If I'm walking in relationship with you and I can see, dang dude, your feelings got you all up in this place, which are awesome. That's fine. You're attached to that. You're feeling that. And your focus has been this. But as in this relationship, we can look at you and say, hey, bro, the facts are this, man. And with no feelings, your fruit has been this. Like, what is the plan that you want to be able to do? What is that something that you can hold yourself accountable for and get out of that place? And then later on, you're like, oh, holy smokes, when I take my feelings out of it, right? And realize those things. I think that's the most amazing thing, again, when we come back to the group part of being able to watch and grow together and see that. And when we see that in other men, then you're like, oh, dang. Oh, actually, I do that in my own life. Oh, it's actually me that needs to do those things as well. Big share, man. What you got, James?
Well, some of that, I've said for a while, it's always easier to see someone else's faults, but when that starts to pop up, you really got to look and go, hey, I'm doing that in my life. If you see it in someone else's, you know you're doing that. But, as far as we were just talking about stop lying and everything and the truth, and my wife and I were talking last night at dinner, and we live in a society where everything's okay. I'm okay, you're okay, this is okay, that's okay. And, when we're just lying to ourselves. And we really, with that, the truth is God's truth. It's his universe. He made it. We're just here due to him making us. And so with that, we've got to look back to what the real truth is, and that's him. And then when we look back to that where God is, then transformation's possible. We can't change for the better for ourselves without him. That's the one element that a lot of systems miss, is you've got to be God focused. If you can't, there won't be a real change forever, or not, even on the physicalness of our planet. Yeah, you might change for a few years, but without God and without his truth, because he is truth, you're not going to have a change for eternity. Yeah,
It's very good. I think it's interesting, you hear it parroted at church so much, like, it's only his truth. It's only his truth. And it's so interesting. You got, like, there is something inside of me that I believe is true. And so if I'm bringing my beliefs and all these thoughts and everything inside of me that I believe to be true and reassessing that inside of me, yeah, it's so easy, especially as Christians, to hold everybody else accountable. But if we start going, oh, there is something that I believe true, and if I reassess my life, my truth, yes, I do believe that there is one truth, but my truth is not the one that is perfectly aligned with that truth. It's just not. And so when we can start seeing his truth and our truth, and that I'm holding everybody else accountable, but not holding myself accountable and lying to myself, and start bringing my truth in closer and closer relationship with his truth, when I'm walking in that truth, and I am walking closer with God himself in truth, in relationship, right?
Yeah, well, and then the other thing that really over the last few weeks with me is the real facts. I think someone else already brought it up, but what you can measure, you can know where you're really at. And you can go, yeah, my diet's good. Well, you start actually putting it into the app, and you start looking at it, and you're like, well, I thought it was good. That slab of butter just cost me 200 calories. And, but with all of that, are you really, hey, I read my Bible every day. Well, start putting a little check mark down and see how many days you do read your Bible. Hey, I spent time with my wife or my kids or two people. okay, did I really? You know, we think we do. My kids love me, and you know, I like hanging out with them. But did I have something that was specifically for each one of them?
Yeah.
You know, once a week, whatever. If we don't track it, we think we're okay.
Yeah. The part of like, am I doing this? Is this just what I'm doing? Or is there a part where I can measure it and say, this is where my intentionality is. This is my purpose. I purposely did this, right? That's what you're talking about, right? I think, yeah, it's amazing. Oh, I'm a good dad. I'm a good dad. Okay, what did you do intentionally this week to do these things? And if it's become your everyday normal, then you probably should change it up and go, this is my normal now. Where can I put more intention? Where can I rise more and more? Where's this glory and glory that God's got for me? Yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. What you guys think?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, James. You know, and it's it's the story, it's the lie that we tell ourselves. You know, unless you're tracking it. You know, and if my wife watches this later on, I'm just going to use her as an example of the constant flow of Amazon packages that are delivered to my house every day, but in denial about how much money we're spending at Amazon. All right, until we start checking that box. We just don't know. But, you know, I mean, I'm using her as an example, but, you know, I mean, it would be the same thing, you know, across the board. You know, what are you really doing? What is your normal, you know? So, and, yeah, that's important. You know, I mean, I need to check that box or just track that in even areas. And that's kind of what we're doing here, right? It tells me every day, hey, I need to work out a little bit. I need to eat healthy. I need to come in. I need to, you know, read my Bible. I need to meditate a little bit, you know, so you're just trying to aligning those things in your life so you can say, yeah, I did it. And having the app
Yeah.
kind of tracks that for you. You have to push that button, you know. Now, you know, and truthfully, no one knows. I mean, I'm pretty sure all you guys think that, you know, I'm cheating somehow on the exercise thing.
You're killing it.
But
hey, Curtis is doing pretty good too.
I know. I was so proud of him posting that
Yeah.
video. Man, great job, Curtis.
Curtis is not in here. He's somebody else. I know Christian is in the Dominican. Curtis is with us as well, but he's in Montana. So he does all of this separate from himself, but with us as well. So, which is a beautiful experience. So,
Even on that, we were talking about accountability earlier. You know, I was looking at the app last night and I saw where everybody else was going up the mountain and had these points. I had 5. And it was like, I think I got 5 yesterday.
Good.
Additional. No, I think I went from 5 to 20 yesterday or something. But yeah, it was, so the accountability isn't like, I don't have guys showing up at my house going, James, you didn't work out. It's just, I see my brothers succeeding.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm letting the group down if I don't, you know, so I did push-ups, sit-ups, and air squats last night, you know, and we're not working out right now. So because we're not working out right now, I've kind of the reason I had 5 was last weekend after Thursday, it was like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, nothing, you know, but now it's like, okay, well, hey, could I do all of them? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I shouldn't have told Craig that because that was how I was going to catch him. But he'll do them all twice or something, you know. But yeah, the accountability. It's not someone's. And I mean, if need be, if you guys saw me falling off the rails, you know, you guys would knock on my door and go, "Hey, James, I love you enough, and I care about you enough that we need to talk. You know, what are you doing here, man? What are you doing to your family? What are you doing to your body, your being, your balance, and your business?" But you guys would do that. But it's not always that. Sometimes it's just like, man, I'm around a bunch of high performing guys. It's like, I can't be slacking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to go back to what you were saying about, you know, I think I'm doing good in the I'm doing good in the eating. Then you start exposing, and you're like, oh, well, I thought I was. I just want, like, speaking on how much the depth of the exposure, right? Because you say, okay, boom, I'm here. But then you start like, oh, well, I thought I was there, but I got to start dialing it in a little bit. Same thing with even reading the Bible. Like, oh, I'm gonna read a verse every day. Well, you're reading it to the point, but you know, are you just reading it to read it, or are you really trying to grasp what you're getting? Are you really trying to dissect, or even trying to use other sources to really get a perspective that you weren't really catching at the time? So I love that through the exposure of where I think I'm doing well, it reveals to me a little bit more that there's still much more to go. And it's not just in one of the aspects, right? It's just not one of the domains, it's across all 4 domains. And yesterday it was the dying to oneself came to mind. And that's it. The deeper we go, the more we die to ourselves in it, the higher the chance we have of gaining that true depth of understanding and really working towards what it is that it is you're really aspiring to have.
Yeah, very good. Dying to yourself over and over. That's all this is. Dying to yourself. It's good. What you got, Christian?
Taking it in, bro.
Okay, so when we first started this, basically called you out as liars. What was your thoughts on that?
You not talking to me. Must be talking to y'all, 'cause he ain't talking to me.
Must be talking to the guy next to me. Like,
I knew instantly you were talking to me. I knew I was a liar. I lied to myself. I lied to everybody. It was a wake-up call, but it wasn't really a wake-up call at the same time.
yeah. Yeah, which is interesting though, because it's not lies that it's like it's going to get anybody really killed. It's not lies that really you're going to go to jail for, or your wife's going to divorce you over for right now. You know, it's like, what are the lies are you telling yourself, right? What lies are you telling other people, right? And being able to expose those things. Why are you even telling these lies, right? Having that opportunity. But again, what else? Who else has got something else on when you got called out as a liar? What's up? What was your thoughts on that?
So it's amazing how God works, right? Because even before we started going into the Warrior's Way, before I started coming here, I had been looking into the Warrior's Way, right? And started reading the book. So in that, I found that, we are liars. But so I kind of already knew that I was, but not to the depth of which I was, not realizing that like, oh, I'm making up these excuses to justify why I'm doing this and why it's okay for me not to give an all-out effort or even work towards getting to that place. There was something else that was said and just now, but either way, they're just like, oh, no. I mean, yeah, I lie to myself, but it's also, I don't lie just to make myself feel better. Oh, now I remember. You mentioned about, James, you mentioned about being a society of where everything is okay. Well, boom, that's the biggest lie I've been telling myself for the longest. Everything's not okay. I don't have everything I want. So how is that okay? And for me to just continue to walk in that, that's not a disservice I'm only doing to myself. But if I'm here for the growth of not just myself, but others, I'm doing them a severe disservice by saying everything is okay.
Yeah, huge disservice. You have so much potential. Yep, each individual has so much potential. And when you just rest in that mediocrity of that, it's terrible. It's terrible. Who else? What you got? What you got,
I
Jim?
think one of my most hated phrases is "I'm good." I invite a lot of men to this over the years, and they're like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go jump in an ice bath." I'm like, "Well, it's not just an ice bath, but or my kids, hey, you should do. I'm good. Hey, you want to go? I'm good." And then once again, when we see it in other people, and like when you invite somebody to something that's going to help improve their life, and they're like, "Nope, I'm good," it like hurts your heart. And so with that, I look at that, then you got to turn it around. You got to go, okay, what am I doing? And maybe I'm not telling other people that. But there's things that I'm telling myself that's probably the biggest lie that we all tell ourselves is, oh, I'm good. Or the second one might be, oh, I didn't have time for that, you know? And, but I think we've just got a society of people that are like, oh, I'm good. They're okay. And you just really want to, well, I saw a video yesterday where somebody like was screaming at people like, "You're not okay. You're not good. Rise up, men." You know, and you know, but yeah, we're not okay. I sent that to him.
You're not okay.
In all honesty, which I know that's another phrase we use a lot, is in all honesty. It should always be in all honesty. But yeah, so in the middle of that, I sent it to a few guys that I've invited here a lot. And then towards the end of that, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I should have done that. But they're big boys.
They're big boys. Yeah. It breaks my heart, though. I did do that video yesterday, but I'm getting told to sit down, to settle down, to stand down, to do that. I've been told that for so long, and I've been holding it back for so long, and it's out of an alignment for myself, and it breaks my heart. Like you're saying, it breaks my heart. My life is not perfect. I have so much room for growth. I see so many things that I could still be doing better and better, but it breaks my heart when those men that I personally know in walking in relationship with them, and they continually do the same things to themselves. They lie to themselves. Their families are falling apart and being destroyed. And it's one of those things, if I have to rattle the cage a little bit more to be the one, maybe it won't be that guy that I'm specifically walking in relationship with. Maybe he won't choose to do this, but maybe there's somebody else out there that is ready, that their heart is prepared, and there is a place. Like I wish somebody would have been screaming from the top of the mountain saying, look at, like, come walk with us, rise with us. And here's how you're going to do it. Not just in one area of your life, not just in spiritual, not just in business, but everything else is going to fall apart. But being able to say, look, bro, this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. Not perfection, not performance, but here's the balance. Here's doing this in reality of what it looks like, right? I wish, man. I wish it would have knocked off 10 years of me suffering if I would have. And I was looking for it then. I went to the church looking for it. I went to it and wasn't finding that. And so now we watch people, like even I'm going to use Sean for an example. Been here a year and a half. Literally meet him, he's going to blow his brains out. Like considering it, like in the part, right? You're not like, but you're considering it. And now this time later, and you're able to hold your equanimity so much more than what it was. And for the first time I'm hearing you going, I'm seeing my own lies rather than blaming it on everybody else. And I think that is the most beautiful thing ever to see.
That's my biggest lie. The job is for somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm good enough. Part of that, all that for sure. But somebody else will take care of that. Somebody else will tell me what's wrong with me. Somebody else will fix me. Or maybe not. Or maybe everybody's just in this big boat of gelatin-filled mass of retardation and nobody can get their pants on straight. And we're all just screwed. Somebody else will fix it, not me. It's too big. And think playing that victim, thinking that you make fun of everybody. You're like, oh, the victim mentality, the different movements going on. But here I am playing it just as loud, probably louder than anybody else I want to complain about.
It's been real. What else we got, man?
Well, one, I'm glad that Sean's here, and I'm sure you guys do it too, but I'll go back and just look at my journal through the year about, because you get really good nuggets. Each of you have said really good nuggets over the time I've been here, right? So I kind of go back and review that. Oh man, that's great. And I'll write it down and I'll post it on like next to my screen for the week. You know, I'm like, yeah, this is my deal for the week. But where was I going with that?
So glad Sean was here.
Yeah, well, I am glad Sean was here because he does come out with some good nuggets for sure. You know, but so the like the videos and stuff and like what we're doing. You know, yeah, it's definitely out of my comfort zone, right? But you know, it's kind of crazy because it don't seem like a lot, but 2 people, you know, have actually it's 3. One's an old lady friend I used to coach her sons, but anyway. 2 people have reached out and be like, hey man, what do you got going on? One is the Paul guy, the audio guy, right? He's like, hey, you know, keep posting those videos, man. It's motivating to me. You know, I know he's a Christian. I mean, he's an active guy. You know, he wants to get better, right? So the other one is craziest is my buddy Josh. You know, Josh was one of my, you know, biggest, you know, friends and drinking buddies for a long time. You know, and he has found another way in life. You know, but he chose to walk that path before me more. And, you know, then he kind of questioned about it. And that's why I invited him to the group. I'm like, hey, you know, this is good stuff, you know. And, you know, hey, maybe him seeing those videos and kind of seeing our stuff and following us a little bit, we'll move him along to be better, you know, because he is an alpha type male, you know. He's going to go out. He wants to provide. He wants to do better, you know, and he's willing to. Josh is definitely a person willing to say, hey, I'll go it alone before I'll submit to what you're trying to shove down my throat. You know, I'm okay being alone. But maybe showing him that there's other men interested in things he's interested in, you know, he'll come walk that path. I don't know.
That's huge. Yep. Yeah, I think it's awesome watching your growth. Craig, the past already year. I mean, I know you wouldn't say it on here, but I'm gonna. You've lost, you know, 60 pounds already this year, and you've started 2 businesses within the year. You're at a year right now?
Yeah, a year for Big Sky.
So a year for Big Sky, which is amazing to be to doing that and crushing life in such a way, and to watch that example that you're doing it to that many others. And I know there for the longest time, you've been not posting nothing. But when you start doing those posts and getting a voice for yourself, being able to speak up and lead from where you live and live from where you lead is what it's about, man. Like, it's so easy for the mental masturbation to know these things and never apply them versus, okay, I know this. Now, how do I really truly apply that? And this is what it looks like. And so it's beautiful. I know there's going to be people that you reach on a huge level.
Can I say something to that one exact thing? So that's probably where I think if I get nervous about following the path, it's when am I going to fall off? That's where my heart has been beautifully changed. I don't have to doubt myself anymore. I'm no longer the biggest distractant. Or I guess I can label myself as the biggest distractant, but because I can, I've just removed myself from the equation of distraction. So that is that mental hurdle I'm able to jump over now. But the reason why that's important is because if I didn't set my heart on the kingdom, I'd never be able to have that perspective. And I think that's where I've been. That's where my struggle, my raw is. I don't think I've brought all 12 stones, if I'm going to use the euphemism in the Bible, of the Israelites jumping over the Jordan for the final time to go into the promised land. God instructed them, bring all 12 of your stones. Bring the priest in the water, bring the stones. Stack them. Bring all 12 through the deep water. I think I probably still got some stones that I'm dragging through the water. Some things in my heart that I still haven't yet figured out. How do I make sure that that's committed? How do I set up the boundaries? How do I set up the accountability? How do I set up the vision? How do I set up my purpose to make sure that I'm moving my stones, getting into the promised land, not just saying that I am promised land inhabitant, but where's my heart at? Where am I actually at? Do I still live in defeat of the enemy? Because I'm afraid of crossing over into the promises of God. And it's no longer acceptable because I'm not distracted by myself. I've set my heart on the kingdom. I want the kingdom. That's my number one want. anything that falls short of that is absolutely a distraction. It's myself.
Yep. It's huge. I think we start in the pit every single day, right? Instead of like James is saying, I'm good. We start in the pit every day. We are finding out what our stones are every day. What is my stone? What's the stone that's holding me back? And later on, I'll deal with the next stone. But today, my stone is this, and this is what I'm going to be able to do. Wanted to touch over in Jeremiah 17:9. You know, calling people out as a liar hurts their feelings, but they're so used to being, oh yeah, I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner saved by grace. But you call them a liar and you start exposing that, and they're like, oh, hell no, not me, right? Not me at all. And so it's interesting. I go, Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The NIV, I like this one as well. The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? The Message translation, the heart is hopelessly dark and deceitful, a puzzle that no one can figure out. The Passion translation, the heart is most deceitful of all things and desperately wicked. Who really knows how bad it is? And I know this to be true of my own heart. And instead of saying I'm good, oh, not me, I'm saved, like it's not me, and then keep walking down that path, being in the pit every single day, bringing this into alignment every day, picking up those stones every single day, I go, yeah, my heart's wicked. And then it starts getting really exposed, and then we can work on it. And then what we do here is not just talk about it, but we set things in place to measure it. What are the facts? What are the measurables? Right, Christian? Christians are always like, what are the measurables? Right? That's what we do here, though. What are the measurables? How are you going to measure it? What's God working on in your life? I can ask men that all the time, messing around. What's God working on in your life? Bro, he's working on everything, man. Oh, yeah? That's awesome. What's he working on? Everything, bro. He's really got me in this amazing place. Okay, cool. Name one. Well, I mean, I don't, he's just working on me, man. It's like, come on, dude. What are your measurables? What are your measurables in your body? If you're sitting with God, if you're sitting with him and you're in close relationship with him, you're telling me there's no other measurables that he's actually helping you produce and rise all tides together? Like, it's not happening. You're just in mediocrity. And so I think this truly exposes the heart that we are, man. We're liars. Who can know it? Let's see, like now realizing you've been holding back on your own lies, seeing the bigger picture deeper than before. How is truth helping you gain power from this relationship you have with the truth in relationship with truth, and relationship with God? So really, truly what I'm asking is, how is truth helping you connect with God? Here, let me ask this question. James brought it up before, so I'll ask that. Where truth is,
God is.
Where truth is, God is. And where God is,
Transformation is possible.
where truth is, God is. Where God is, transformation is possible. How has that transformation and seeing and walking in truth, walking in relationship with God, how has that helped your connection take place?
For me, it's helped me realize that the amount of work that I've been doing, it needs to be more. To overwrite the last 32 years of my life, it's going to take a resolve that I probably rarely have tapped into. And that resolve, like, sure, I've had plenty of willpower along the way, but that resolve, it's no longer will. I've found myself where I've done the things I never would have imagined I would have done. It was because of, for spiritual reasons, I was able to tap into something that's beyond me. Like, never in my life would I have thought that I would have fasted 3 whole days, and I still sit here like, man, I would have never imagined. For me to choose to just go 3 days without eating out of myself would have never happened. And then again, it exposes to me just like how much time are you really wasting? How much time am I focused on, not even focusing on, but just messing around and not doing something of production in order to help fuel to get to the place where those measurables are at. Like, sure, it's, it's like for the longest, I've been tracking my weight, right? But it wasn't until recently it was like, oh, well, maybe I should start focusing on my body fat percentage, because if I've been at this place where it's been the same, or I've been eating a certain way and allowing myself to just eat whatever because it's okay. I'm working out as many times as I am. The numbers are coming down, but yet I'm not seeing the true transformation within my body that I've been trying to attain. So there has to be a shift. There has to be the place where there's this level, but then, okay, but what's the next level? And I hate to sound like a broken record, but again, just exposing the depth and how much has to go to really get to the place where you're really trying to change, what you're really trying to change, what you're really chasing after. So that's what this has really brought to my attention.
Yeah. There is such more of a depth.
Let me clarify that's my heart's desire, is to make sure that it's planted on the kingdom. Like, that's my daily awareness, is how often I drift away from that being my focus. If I read Proverbs and I like, it's not all encouraging. Sometimes it's like, that's a tail whooping. But that's what I need in order to realize that my heart's not set on things above a lot. And then, like, jumping down and doing 100 push-ups, I'm kind of like, all right, let's do it. Like, I feel like my heart's in the right place. I want to do things for the kingdom. It's not to get a six-pack, to, pick up chicks. It's because I want to take care of my body. I want to honor it. I want my kids to see that their dad took care of himself. I want my relationships to know that, like, you can trust me in a business deal. I'm probably going to stick around to the end of the 6-month contract. I'm not going to die of some diabetic stroke or something weird because I'm not taking care of myself. And it can go into all areas.
Yeah.
But the reason why it's good and it's fun in that pursuit, and I can still get up and early and I have motivation, is not because I'm all pumped full of caffeine, which I do still enjoy caffeine, but it is because my heart is set on something where I know it's bigger and I got to just kind of get after it. And God enjoys that awkward dance of just trying to work things out and just get into it. He starts encouraging you, and he brings up the thing that you thought you got a tail whooping from in the Bible, and he goes, nope, see, that's why I gave you that whooping, so you could see right now how good I am for you. I'm going to keep coming through for you every time. Just keep showing up. I'm going to keep showing up for you. Yeah.
So hold on. You're seeing God in all areas of your life. You're seeing truth. It's good.
All areas. He's still welcome in some areas. I'm not letting him in.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Yeah. I hear you. It's beautiful. Craig, I know you're going to have to leave here as well, too. But there's still some other stuff, so don't feel like, if you're good, you're good. Cool? I know. Yep, very cool. And so that's even if you're watching this is how the group works, man. People come and go as they need to. Some people aren't even able to join us in person. They do it on their own, and they're still in relationship with us, and I talk to them once a week, and then that ends up growing that way. So we've had people that are here in person, or we have people online, Christians in the Dominican Republic, crushing it out there, but we've also had people, or have them in Orlando and Africa and Tampa and now Montana and whatever. So Craig, always, it's awesome to be anybody to come and go and be a part of this group. So now we were talking about, like, the connection with God part. Really want to see, like, how has, you gain power in truth and connection with God. And so when you're in truth and you're walking in that with him, and you're in relationship with him, doing that, how is that power? How is the code, living by the code, how are you seeing it different in your life now versus when this type of life or this type of framework was being presented? What's that look like for you? How is it changing? We changed the connection with God, and that's happening. Like, even Nathaniel as well, as I am hearing from God, and I've been in that place, like, it's amazing to have that connection. But then being able to go, okay, I have this connection, and I'm not just a child anymore. He's telling me, like, yo, dude, like, get out there, Go do some stuff. Let's see what that looks like in your life, right? What's that? What does the code, living by the code, living in truth, not lying, doing that, and the real, raw, relevant results, what's that been opening the door for? Christian, what you got?
I would like to, really focus on the results part, right? I look at it as it's all developing character, right? There's a guy, Jim Rohn. He's a motivational speaker, a little bit older, maybe 80s, really good stuff. He wrote a book called Unshakable Character, right? And character is what you're left with at the end of the day when everybody goes away and you're there with yourself, right? And he says that the word is derived from chisel, right? It's like a sculptor chiseling away all the stone, and what he's left with is this, right? And so if we can develop this character, we're shaping it, right? We're taking our life, breaking it down into the quadrants, and then we're slowly, being truthful about who we are, what we're doing, and our goals, and we keep shaping this person that we want to become, right? We're working essentially on our character, how we want to show up in the world. And so it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. If I'm truthful with myself and I'm open and I'm honest and, I know I've got faults and I keep working on that, right? I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'll be somebody I'm proud to be,
Yeah, bro, that's good.
So results.
That character, bro, that is huge. What you got, Nathaniel?
See if I can articulate this right. Before coming here, I thought I pretty much was doing as good as could be expected. I exercised, I ate pretty healthy. I had a good job with a nice title. So I thought I was doing good, but when you get in here, some of the assignments you've made us do is identifying where we are and then where we want to be. The pit that we're currently in versus the peak that we want to be on. We're setting measurable goals to reach that new peak. And daily, like with my being, my goal was to draw closer to God. Well, I know through experience that comes by being in the Word every single day, intentionally meditating on His Word, not just reading it to check a box, intentionally praying every day, intentionally meditating on it every day. And when I'm asking myself the questions of where I am and where I want to be, I'm exposing the truth that I wasn't aware of before. And, I can lie to you guys, but in that moment of thought where I'm identifying my pit, I can't lie to God at that moment. The truth comes out from my spirit to His spirit, and there's power in that. Just exposing it to the light.
Yeah, you articulated that very well. It's good. Who else?
It saved my bandwidth. I was using up so much mental and emotional energy trying to figure out how to come back from losing my family and business and blah, 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 blah. I was way out of balance. So heavily skewed on making things happen professionally, thinking that was going to help my heart settle down in Jacksonville under these circumstances. So no, that's part of that lie, 100%. Dude, one of the biggest epiphanies I had, I called Raylan one day and I said, man, I just got to chill out. And I'd forgotten how nice it is just to chill out. No stress. Why? What's the function of stress? What's it benefit? Zero. But boy, oh boy, do I like to suck on that one, man. Oh, just give me the stress and freak out because that's the only thing I know what to do. I'm just going to sit here and sulk and stress.
Yeah. And that can happen, that stress and that reactive personality can
Yeah.
come out in business, right? It can come out with our families. It can come out really internally with ourselves, right? But when you're saying like, chill out, it doesn't mean stop doing everything that you're doing either, right?
It's the opposite. So chilling out for me got me off of the couch, doing 100 push-ups, calling you, seeing, going on random camping trips. Just break out of the monotonous, be ready to just hear and explore again in a way that you're just, I'm okay with being innocent and not understanding everything and walking on a little bit of faith. And that little bit of faith has turned into a massive landslide event where now we have a group this is so beautiful and precious. It's worth encapsulating a little bit and trying to present it for the world. It's come full circle where it was just a thought taking up bandwidth, like how am I going to figure out how to get healthy,
Yeah,
to unplugging and being healthy.
being healthy. We're all just trying to heal, man. It's good. What you got, Andy?
Living by the code has helped me realize that, dude, I want to be comfortable, but where I'm at comfortable at now, that's not the comfort that I want. So my course of action has to be to expand, right? Expand that comfort zone. Expand myself to the point where, you know, that high productivity and being able to be present in every single moment, that's the new comfort zone. I give thanks that like I'm not really opposed to doing work or, you know, putting in the work. But even saying that, like, it sounds scary because it's just like, man, this sounds like a never-ending and daunting task. But do you know how much do I want it?
Yeah, how much? We live in a culture where everybody wants to retire in their 20s. And now you start living this type of life and you're like, why would I ever want to retire from purpose, passion, direction, chasing after this? Something that used to, I don't want to step into responsibility. I'm like, why did you only give me this capacity of responsibility? Like, I can only, I want to expand more. And so, I mean, I'm human. There's only so much that my abilities are going to allow me, but it's awesome to play with that and go, okay, how much more can I expand this? What else do you have for me? Oh, and then I was at my own ends, and then I thought I couldn't do any more, and he's like, here's more responsibility. Like, no, I don't want responsibility, but then you do, right? And stepping in more and more of that. When is the ball gonna drop? When am I gonna fall apart? I mean, dude, even still, I'm gonna go down in burning flames, but if I do, I'm in perfect alignment with where he has me. So it's riding that place right in there.
It's like that Andy Stanley had a saying, God takes full responsibility for the man totally devoted to him. So wreck it.
Wreck it.
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. What else has anybody got? I got something I'm gonna close it out with. What else? Anything else on your heart? Anything else on your mind? Anything else that you feel you need to share? Christian, anything? No, I'm good. Nathaniel, you good? It's been good. James, what you got?
One of the things I got like last week was get what you want instead of worrying about being right. And we'll just leave it at that, and everybody can kind of think about that. How much energy we spend trying to be right. You know, I've often said, you can win the argument and lose the girl.
It's a really good one, James. Thank you. Sean?
That one's just deep revelation, just like,
Yeah, that was powerful.
is being right gonna give me, again, what I want? Sometimes, yeah, but like typically, what, just to prove that I'm right? To inflate my ego? For what? What's my ego gonna give me at the end of the day? It hasn't gotten me what I wanted thus far. Something, sure. But it's probably not going to get me everything that I want to attain.
Yeah. Sean? You good? What else you got? Got something else? Beautiful. Awesome. I want to share something. God gave me this last night, which is crazy right at the end of everything. And it's so unreal. It's like he puts things on my heart. And like yesterday, you know, started this video, and it's just like how much is in there. Like, you know, I'm reminded even myself, like a drill sergeant, you know, it's like when that drill sergeant's got to do any of that part, like there's stuff in there. He's coming from a place where he knows, and he's speaking boldly from that place. Like, I know this to be true in my life, and I know there's other men that are in these other places that I'm talking about, you know? But it's so interesting too. I can do that video, and then I take, you know, my daughter out to the movies right after it. It was beautiful. And then I make love to my wife in the evening. It's not like I'm angry, right? It's a beautiful place where I know that I'm able to hold my own equanimity and feel this place of like, man, I have feelings and they matter. And I have a voice, I have my voice and God's voice. And God is telling me certain things. And I'm like, I don't even know how to communicate all of that. He's like, you don't have to know how, just do it. Just go, just start, just move, just go. I'm like, you know? And so it's this beautiful place where I'm riding. And so it's interesting. It's not like, I want to read this. And it's talking about being blessed. And I'm at that place where I've held back. I've been self-aware. I've held back in this place. And when it's me doing it, I can see how much I'm holding myself back. I'm the one, oh, I got to go to church. Be quiet. Well, I mean, be just enough to where you're in rhythm with everybody else, but don't be out of rhythm. You know, you can raise your voice, but only as high as your wife does. Like, if you're any more masculine than your wife, then the church is going to shut you down. You know, I live in a culture where to be full on male, like with masculine tendencies, but I like to say more like divine masculinity is what I want to be walking in. Like my connection with God all the time, right? And so this place is where I've watched even my own self. I want less and less and less of me. And I feel like if this is just the tip of me getting rid of me dying to myself, me holding myself back, me believing my own lies, if this is it, if I gotta be like that guy, like in Jesus Freak, like the dude, he's got tattooed Jesus Freak on his belly. Like if I gotta be that guy, I'm the first. I used to think that song was cool back in the day. And then now it's a reminder, it's like, dude, you might be the Jesus Freak, bro. Like, okay, let's rock. But I got other men that I know too, that I can see it in your hearts, in your souls, in every part. When you start tapping into that, you're like, bro, I have that same thing inside of me. Like, I just want out of my own prison. And so being at the end of our own end, like this is, so it's Matthew 5. I'm going to start with 3, and it goes on. Just bear with me. I'm going to read like a good bit, and I'm going to go from 3 until 12. And I read out of the Message, and then for myself, I like going backwards because the Message for me exposes pretty much exactly the way I talk. And it got me the first time when it said, hey, blockhead. And I was like, bro, the Bible's talking to me. Like, I hear you. Like, I'm in the Bible. You know? And so, you know, I know so many people, he reads out of the Message. Like, I read out of all of them. Okay? When you learn Greek and you know all the way to Hebrew and you're speaking Arabic, come talk to me about me reading out of the Message. Okay? So Matthew 3. And I'm going to just take my time a little bit. You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of God and his rule. You're blessed when you feel you've lost what is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one most dear to you. You're blessed when you're content with just who you are, no more, no less. That's the moment you find yourself proud owners of everything that can't be bought. You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for God. He's food and drink and the best meal you'll ever eat. You're blessed when you care. At the moment of being careful, you find yourselves cared for. You're blessed when you get your inside world, your mind and your heart put right. Then you can see God in the outside world. You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family. And that part right now, you know, it's like that compete or fight. Like, it's interesting as I am shaking and rattling the cages to do that. But even inside this group, I think you guys know it's not to compete or fight. I know you don't feel that way. Am I correct? How much has rattling the cage and exposing our internal selves to ourselves, how much better has that made you for yourself, your family, and this community, and the community that you're in? Right? Okay? You're blessed when your commitment to God provokes persecution. The persecution drives you even deeper into God's kingdom. Not only that, count yourselves blessed every time people put you down or throw you out or speak lies about you to discredit me. What it means is that the truth is too close for comfort and they are uncomfortable. You can be glad when that happens. Give a cheer even. For though they don't like it, I do. And all of heaven applauds. And know that you are in good company. My prophets and witnesses have always gotten into this kind of trouble. Men, character matters. Right? I know you men know that. It matters. Integrity matters. What we're doing here every single morning, aligning with God, matters. Lives, families, their lives, the families are on the line. Souls are on the line. We've all suffered. I've suffered the depths of the inside of my soul, so deep, so dark. God has transformed that into not me suffering, but me living for him. And so I encourage all of us and those and anybody that else is watching. Like, don't say you'll die for him. I'm asking you, live for him. Okay? So, Nathaniel, will you pray us out?
Heavenly Father, I thank you for the gathering of these men, that our iron is sharpening one another. I thank you for your involvement in our transformation. I speak peace and power over each one of these men. May they see the fullness of you, the depth and width and height of your love for each one of us. God bless us as we walk out this day. Let us walk in the light. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Much love, much respect. Christian, later, bro.